Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Virgo, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Virgo, I hope that you're doing well. I'm going to be using 2 decks for your reading today. The first one for the overall energy is going to come from the Star Seed Oracle. And I'm using a brand new deck that was just gifted to me, the Butterfly Wisdom Tarot. For the tarot portion of the reading, the cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angel Spirits, Guides, what messages, please, do you have for Virgo? Thank you. Hiraeth, longing for home, homesick for the stars. Wow, that's crazy. When I hold the card up to the camera, it almost feels like it's expanding. It feels like it doesn't look like that when I look at the card, but when I hold it up to the camera, it's almost like 3-dimensional. It almost feels like this is rotating ever so slightly. It's interesting, you know, Virgo is a very grounded sign. You are the earth element. There could be part of you right now that's feeling out of your element, feeling that you're yearning perhaps for something a little bit more ethereal, otherworldly, dare I say magical. This could be something that is, it's almost like, it's weird because it's almost like I saw this and it's like I've heard this voice like echo throughout this chamber of stars, like calling out to you. That could feel very disconcerting. This is so beautiful. It's like I could stare at it all day. But it's vast. It's overwhelming. It makes you feel probably really small. I feel as though you're in new territory, spiritually speaking. There's something different happening in your life that is, it's not your wheelhouse. It's not what you're accustomed to. Almost like you don't know where to start. That's okay. Part of the wonder is in the mystery. The vastness. Let's get some cards out for Virgo, please. Thank you. 4 of Swords. This could be happening in dream state. The Swords energy is air element. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. When we're at the 4 of Swords, we're in this period of recovery. That's what this card talks about, recovery. 3 of Swords can talk about disappointment, setback, heartbreak. Could talk about physical ailment as well. And when we get to the 4, we're recovering from that. We're taking a needed time out. It's like the butterfly's wings are tired. And so they've just landed for a moment so that they can get their bearings. And this is the thing about a situation like this. Kind of suspend disbelief for a second and just imagine yourself that you're standing on this precipice here. You're standing on the precipice and there's an even bigger precipice. You're standing at the very tippy top, and there's even more. There's more expansiveness. And there's a part of you that just wants to say, like, can we just, it's almost too much for me. Can we just slow down for a second? I have to regroup. I have to think about it. I have to rest. I have to come up with a strategy, perhaps, of how to navigate this new terrain for myself. This is for Virgo. Yeah, 2 cards. The 6 of Swords in the reverse. And the Death card in reverse. Number 13 of the Major Arcana, Scorpio energy. Whenever I refer to a card as being a part of the Major Arcana, it talks about heavily divinely guided energies, like your spirit guides are really involved, and they're always involved, but very heavily trying to get you back onto a certain path. Maybe you've strayed a little bit from it, this path. 6 of Swords can talk about moving from a chaotic situation to something a little bit more calm. It's weird because I also see there's some synchronicities here with these mountains in the background. It's like having to traverse a distance. You got this card in reverse, though. Anytime the 6 of Swords is in reverse, for me as a reader, it kind of represents a stagnancy. That for the longest time, things might have felt out of control for you or not to your liking. You know, Virgo always wants to be in control, have a sense of their bearings, have a sense of what is to come. But it's almost like you know you need to take the next step forward, but you're unable to do it, right? Maybe the distance seems so vast that you, or so confusing, perplexing, overwhelming, intimidating. Thank you, Spirit. I was like saying a lot of words and I was like, it's not the word, it's not the word. Intimidating. And you're not often intimidated. Right? But I think that this Death card showed up here because there is some cycle that still needs to come to a close, and maybe you're hesitant to just say goodbye to it. These 2 cards together to talk about stagnancy, because the Death card talks about endings bringing new beginnings. It's like we can see the new beginning. It's magnificent. It's bigger than your wildest dreams. But it's intimidating. And so there's this hesitancy on your part to move forward with it. Because it does mean that you'll be closing out something, perhaps that's been a part of you for a long time. It's weird. All of a sudden, I became very aware of like my joints, wanting to crack my knuckles and like crack my joints. And I just became very aware of my body and the kind of like arthritis or the like ache that I feel in my physical body. I don't necessarily feel that for you in a literal sense. I feel that for you of like, maybe, you know, this could have to do with astral projection as well. Maybe you've been astral projecting. Something could be happening in your sleep. And the thing about astral projection, right, when your spirit leaves your body for a temporary time, that's a really disconcerting process. I don't know if you've ever astral projected. It's really intense. It's really terrifying, but it's also absolutely enthralling. And I just felt overly concerned with like the physicality of my own physicality in that moment, just a moment ago. And there's something to it here. It's like you're so rooted inside your body that it becomes difficult to kind of get out of that, because it's almost like here you are standing at the precipice still connected to what I conceive as like an earthly plateau. It can be really difficult to shift your consciousness to think that you could traverse an area or an expansiveness or a consciousness or a dimension like this. This is a very esoteric feeling to your reading, which is not typical. And yet, you're trying to expand your mind in a way that you never have before. And in order for you to do that, it's almost like a narrative has to come to an end. You have to be willing to move forward. And there's hesitation. Queen of Cups in reverse. For me, this is Cancer energy. Queen of Cups is typically somebody who's very emotionally mature, really loving, really generous, wants to pour into everyone else's cup. When the Queen of Cups is in reverse for me as a reader, it represents self-care. Like we've been pouring into other people's cups, and it's time that we pour back into our own. It's like, if this is your feeling, it's like Spirit is saying you owe it to yourself to pay attention to that longingness, to pay attention to that proclivity towards the magical, the mystical, the otherworldly, the psychic, the unconscious. All places and spaces that might not feel comfortable for Virgo. But Spirit wants you to kind of pour back into your own cup. This could be a major part of your spiritual awakening. It's the realization that there is so much more that has yet to be discovered within your own personal worldview, your life view. Yeah, you see? It just flew right out of my hand and onto the floor. You're the first. I've done, how many readings have I done? 7? 7? You're the first one to get the Wheel of Fortune, number 10 of the Major Arcana. Good luck, good fortune, Jupiterian energy, the planet of expansion. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is all about. Beyond our wildest dreams, becoming in alignment with our path, doors opening, possibilities abound, abundance here for you. That's what the Wheel of Fortune represents. You're the first sign to get it. It's like this great reveal, this unlocking. It's almost like if you meditate, you see places like this. If you meditate for long enough, it's like your brain just goes to different dimensions. It's amazing. you'll find a lot of answers in that space about your 3D experience. Even if you have a lot of 3D concerns, like your bills and your responsibilities and your family and your friends, blah, 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 blah. It's like when you can access a place like this, it helps to inform your life on planet Earth, because the universe knows that you came to live out a life here, to learn some lessons while you're a human being. So it's just using this as another kind of resource for yourself. Like the Akashic Records, it's like a library. It's a library like a library you would go to down the street, but this library exists in the ether. It exists in energy. I feel like the more that you allow yourself to explore, the more will open up for you. And it's gonna be good. It feels good. What are the big questions that Virgo is asking right now? One question, please. Well, King of Swords, Gemini energy. King of Swords is an authority, an expert in their field. It's almost like, so I said, you know, what's the one big question that Spirit, or that Virgo is asking right now? And Spirit is saying to me, well, obviously they want to know the answers to everything. They want to know all the answers to the cosmic test. They want to be the experts, the know-it-alls. No offense. They want to be the authority figures. They want to know what they're talking about. It's like, how do you even begin to know what you're talking about when something looks like this? And that's where the intimidation factor comes in. The King of Swords, the King of Swords holds the sword of truth and epiphany and clarity. Spirit just said, make it make sense. And Virgo wants to make it make sense. I do want to say to you though, Virgo, don't forget, right, with this Queen of Cups, don't forget to inject a little bit of love, emotions, feelings. Don't forget to inject a little bit of that into this inquiry. Love is very high vibrational. It's not something that we can just put aside in the favor of rationality, in the favor of data. Maybe one more. Why the hesitation? Why the hesitation? Two of Wands in the reverse. It's not like Virgo saying, you know, like, I just want to know what direction is the right direction. I don't want there to be any doubt if I go left or if I go right. How can I know? How can I know that I'm doing the right thing? How can I know that this path is the right one for me? I mean, in a way, that's what faith is. We can't always have the hard and fast answers. That's what you are looking for, though. You're looking for a very clearly delineated roadmap. Two of Wands in the reverse. So there's no mistaking on the GPS of life where it is that you're going. And sometimes GPS they can't handle what is out there. You know, it's one of these things where, you know, sometimes people ponder the reason why we don't remember past lives when we come into our current ones. And it's almost like it might be too overwhelming for our minds to handle. Like, you know how they say that we're a part of the Matrix, we're in the Matrix? If, you know, when Neo in the Matrix, when he stepped out of the Matrix, when he was brought into the real world, I mean, he literally vomited, right? It was like he had like a panic attack because his entire identity collapsed. And we could be talking on those big terms when you realize the vastness and the connectedness, the oneness. It can be really intense and intimidating and overwhelming. It's like the first time I truly astral projected, like off planet, the one and only time. And I came back into my body, and like I was able to move my body again, and like it just still sits with me, and that was many years ago. It really allowed me to not be afraid of death. Now, it doesn't mean I want to die or I want to, I'm like looking forward to that. It's not about that. But death is just a transition into another dimension, another consciousness. When you can think in those terms, it really humbles you. Like all of these egocentric things become less important, but we're so rooted to them, we're so tied to them. And I think this is truly what you're kind of facing right now. It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's pull one more card of advice for Virgo. Ten of Wands. This is a card of burden. It's a card of, honestly, it's the card of the burden of experience. We're carrying all of this experience. Just like the idea of carrying karma, right? The Ten of Wands is in the upright though, so eventually it goes back to the Ace of Wands. Spirit is asking you to release this. You're a butterfly and you're meant to be as light as a feather. Not to be burdened and bogged down by all of this, the weight of everything. To release the burden, to release the narratives, release the hang-ups and the things that have been holding you back. To think that you are capable and you are worthy of magical experiences like this. So that's your reading, Virgo. Very strange, very unlike a Virgo reading, but it is the message. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Virgo.